What's going on, everyone? Trevor Hansen here, host of the Wake Channel. We have got a new segment that we're firing it up today. This is the Fresh Squeeze, and our first guest, Cory Teunnissen, Big Tuna.
Squeeze it up.
Yeah, let's squeeze some juice. Man, this is just going to be a fun little segment where we're going to get to know some of the top riders and maybe some other industry people. But we're just going to have a fun little conversation and see where this takes us. So, what's happening, Cory?
Dude, I'm back in Orlando.
Yeah.
Spent last sort of 6-7 months back home in Oz, and took some time off the wakeboard, which is always nice. Spent some time with the fam, with the nephew and niece, and yeah, just got some really good family time, man.
Sweet.
It was good.
That's awesome. What's it like having that endless summer vibe?
I mean, I guess I'm just like, for me, it's like normal, right? Because like I first moved over here when I was 13 years old, and even I remember like going through school and everything, like I was always like the one that I was always like that weirdo that would like always leave. But for me, it was just so normal because it was my normal life. So, I mean, it's great. I hate the cold, so yeah, that sucks.
So are you splitting time pretty much 50-50, Orlando back in Australia, or how does it really work out for you?
Yeah, it depends on the year, depends on what I got going on, obligations here and back home, but I always kind of just space myself off half and half.
Cool.
So
good deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got a couple questions teed up for us.
Some juiciness, huh?
Yes. Yeah, some good ones. So, first question that comes to mind is like, you're one of the top competitive riders in our sport. Like like you've really just dialed in competitive riding. One of the top riders. So when you are,
thank you.
When you're, yeah, no worries. You did it. I didn't do anything. When you kind of think of your legacy in the sport, is it like, do you want to be known more for that competitive, like go-getter, 100% like competitive athlete, or do you want to be known more for those weird workout Instagrams that you post?
Yes. To answer your question, yes.
Perfect. No, but seriously, all jokes aside, you train super hard. You work really hard at it. It's obvious from all the stuff that you post. You're constantly out in the gym working hard, and it shows on the water. So what's kind of your focus every year to kind of keep you going and keep that winning mentality? Yeah,
I mean, I think we're all kind of, and anyone that's like competitive on tour, we're all in the business to win, and we're all in the business to be successful. And I think that, everyone loves the feeling of winning. Like you put so much effort in, it goes like, it's just not on the day. Like to get a good result literally takes months and months of work, and that recognition and that relief and that, oh my God, it was all worth it. Like that's the feeling we chase, and that's what keeps you coming back. And I think, damn, this is like my 10th year on tour this year or something. So like, don't get me wrong, the motivation's definitely gone up and down for sure. I've had seasons where I haven't really wanted to be here, and would love to just be back home with the fam, enjoying time and whatever it might be, surfing every day or whatever. But I think like just the feeling of chasing and accomplishing something that's bigger than yourself and the work that goes into it is so intriguing and so worthwhile when you actually get to that. Right now, like that's kind of what's fueling the tank, and I think as soon as that drives kind of fades out a little bit, then I can ask some other questions and ask some deep questions of myself and how long I want to be doing this for. But I'm only 25 years old. I'm still so young, so I got time on my hands. For sure. Well, it's crazy that you say that. Like you've been riding on the tour for 10 years, only 25, still got a lot of life ahead of you. But like coming off of last year, like you had a great season last year. Won the Pro Wakeboard Tour, won Worlds, just killed it. So how's that shift coming into this year? Like, do you have the expectation of trying to do the same, or do you have other things that you want to work on, or where's your mind at coming into this season? What really helped me last year was I put a lot of work in kind of finding what my purpose was for the year, and I think that instead of what has always been a lot of tension like on the water, I kind of turned that onto myself, and I think last year I had like the most fun I've ever had on tour in freaking years, and I enjoyed it way more than I ever have. So for me, I was just way happier as a person, and then I think that kind of like just reflected into my riding.
Sick. When you approach those contest runs from last year, because it's super fun watching you guys from the mirror. When you're planning out your runs, are you planning it with the intention of beating a specific person, or do you have a particular run that you've got set in your mind that you're like, I want to do a 1080 today regardless of what happens, or are you kind of bouncing it off of what everyone else is doing for the day?
I mean, it's a bit of both, for sure. Like, I'm the type of person where I can't make shit up on the spot. Like, I have to have a game plan coming into it. I have to know exactly what I want to do. And I mean, in the past, I've been lucky enough to be able to go last off the dock, so you can kind of like keep an eye on things and like kind of just watch what everyone's doing. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, I'm kind of I am really lucky to be in a position where I know if I go out and if I stick the shit that I want to do, then most likely I'm going to be getting a really good result.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people on tour aren't in that position, so they have to go all out, where, like I said, like I've worked to a point to where if I go out and do exactly what I have in mind, then 9 times out of 10 I'm going to be looking pretty good. So I think it kind of just depends on the situation, depends on what's on the line, and also just depends on like what everyone else has done and the conditions as well. Like, there's no point in going out and trying to it when there's no point.
Don't need to.
Yeah.
Yep. How do you like the format on tour, like with the 2-run format, like going up into the rounds, like you've got, your normal competitive run, for the early rounds, and then going into the finals? Like, do you like that being able to have the 2-run format, or does it kind of, change throughout the whole competition of having to go from being able to have a fall to not being able to have a fall? And what do you prefer?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, the sport's the most competitive it's ever been, right? And if you mess up one thing, if you slip a grab or at least like sketch out on one trick in a final now, like that's the difference from first to last. Doesn't necessarily matter if you fall or not. So if you do get that pickup, if you crash, you're done.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of depends on when you ask me.
Yeah.
If I can hit the final and blow it twice on both runs, then I'm gonna hate that format. But if I go out and stick it first go, then I'm gonna love it.
Everyone loves a victory lap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing watching those judges just sweat it out trying to figure out what you guys are doing. Oh man, it's intense in the boat sometimes, because you guys literally, like, it can come down to the stuff that you wouldn't even, the most people that are watching on the dock wouldn't even put that into their mind.
Yeah. Or not even say.
Yeah, they wouldn't notice, and they'd be like, well, I thought that Cory won today, or I thought, this person won today. And it's like, man, when you're watching in the boat, those tiny little details make the biggest difference.
100%.
I mean, obviously, it's always an advantage to go last, but some riders really thrive in that, like going first and putting the pressure on. Do you have a preference either way?
I go into the events with an intention, and I know what I want to do. So if I'm off the dock first or last, like, that's not necessarily going to change.
Yeah, you've got your run planned out.
Yeah.
You know the tricks that you want to do, so first or last makes no difference.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it can be nice to go off last and watch everyone blow it and have a nice easy run.
Yeah, and just cruise.
Yeah, that's always nice. But
it's crazy to watch you guys feed off of each other these days. Like, I think it's always been like that, but like the first rider in the finals can sometimes dictate the entire final. Like, if they go out and absolutely throw it down, it seems like everybody kind of steps up and throws it down. Whereas sometimes, if you start seeing early falls, that kind of translates down sometimes. But it's just wild to watch you guys like thrive off of one another now.
Yeah, I mean, it might be nice for you. I don't know. I'm so locked in and so zoned in on event days that like I barely even know what's happening, man.
Dude,
like,
you have no idea. I cracked myself a fresh drink for the final, and I stood up like this in the driver's seat, and I'm like, here we go, boys. Let's see it.
Dude, you are complete opposites of me.
It's the best.
Oh my God, you're the most relaxed person there, and I'm just so locked in.
Yeah, it's a lot easier sitting in the driver's seat than where you guys are sitting.
Happy to swap.
So what's talking about that competitive vibe, what's your days look like off the water? Like if there's like when you, the time, because I know that you spend a ton of time, like we talked about earlier, like you spend a ton of time in the gym. I think that you do a lot of mental training. Like what's that kind of aspect of your life look like to help you get to where you're at?
Yeah, I think, look, it's not like I'll be the first person to admit it hasn't all just been myself. Like I'm very lucky. I generally believe I have the best support team I could possibly ask for when it either comes down to family, friends, coaches back home, everyone. I'm so grateful to actually be in a position where everyone is there to help me. And I think for the longest time, I don't know if it was being young or immature or whatever, but I always tried to, I kind of pushed them away just to maybe prove it to myself that I could be successful on my own. But definitely the last couple of years, it's been nice to able to let these people come in and support me a little bit more and make my job a lot easier.
Sure.
And that obviously just kind of full circles into like the whole picture. So like whether if it's breath training, mental training, fitness training,
just training. Spending a lot of time training.
But yeah, it's full on, man. Like I kind of consider this like I would, like anyone else would, a 9 to 5 now. Like at the end of the day, like yes, it is a passion, but like it's my job and it's my career,
sure.
and I take this seriously.
Yeah.
And however long someone would work for someone else, I use my day-to-day time as like a 9 to 5. So like when I'm on like in those hours, I do everything I possibly can to just try and better myself.
Yep.
At whatever way it might be.
Cool. What's your riding look like while you're in Orlando? Like who are you riding with? Who is your crew? And how do those guys translate into how you're performing on the water?
Yeah, very lucky to have, once again, a lot of really good people around me. I live with Thomas Herman, so it's always nice to have that little shit running around.
You don't have to call him little. We're on camera. You know?
But yeah, he's a little ball of energy. And then Cory Teunnissen lives next door. Well, his girlfriend lives next door to me as well. So always hanging out with him and riding with him a bunch as well. So, but I like nowadays I keep my careers short, man.
Yeah.
I keep it small.
Yeah.
I've been through the days where haven't had a boat and have had to spend 5-6 hours on a boat at a time just to get through freaking 4, 5, 6 riders at a time. But I'm very lucky now that I've put the work in and am able to have a boat of my own. I'm able to have a crew of my own, and I choose to have a small crew that all want to help and support each other.
Sweet.
And we're not on a boat for 5 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Get out there, get your done, get back in, got other to do.
Yeah, for sure. Who is the one person that you just can't wait to beat at any given event?
Here we go. The juice is coming out.
Yeah, that's right. Let's squeeze it a little bit. Let's squeeze that juice just a little bit.
Look, I think it definitely hasn't been private knowledge. It's been public knowledge that myself and Nick have been very competitive. Yeah, we've been really competitive over the last however many seasons now, I guess. It's probably been like 4 or 5 seasons.
Yep.
We've been battling it out back and forth. And yeah, look, I think he'll even admit it, right? The rivalry is real, in a positive and negative way, I guess. Like, I think, like personally for me, I've become a better rider from it. I mean, who was that person for you?
For me, it was Rusty, because I rode with him all the time.
Yeah.
And we were really good friends, but man, I just get so amped up when I would beat him.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was just so happy every time that I would beat him.
Yeah.
Didn't happen a ton, but man, I was just pumped. Just pumped. Are there
Yeah.
guys, because like you said, there's obvious rivalries on tour, like any generation of riders. Like you go back to Phil and Danny, and then it was Phil and Harley for a while, and then for the past few years it's been kind of you and Nick, and it's usually the guys that are battling out for the top spots, or at least the podium spots. So who else is in that mix? And it's crazy to me too, that you guys, the Australians just seem to keep winning. Like we get all these Australian only podiums. What's the deal with that?
Nice, dude. Isn't it?
What is, no, it's not nice as to the Americans, but what is the deal with that? Like, Tyler's like last man standing for us.
Yeah, no, Ty's been competitive the last couple seasons for sure, and I think he'll be even more competitive this year again. And I got a feeling this is going to be like Sam's breakout year.
Yeah.
Really, like I mean, I've known about him for the last friggin' 100 years, but yeah, I think this will be
Sam's the youngest, oldest rider in the entire world. Like,
seriously.
I feel like Sam's been on tour for 2 decades, but he's only like 17 years old or whatever. Because you guys really do dominate the competitive scene. Like, what do you attribute that to? Because, you know, like, I have my own theories on how you guys become so competitive. But what do you see? Like, you're kind of in that mix.
Yeah, I think it kind of just comes down to the person, right? But I can only speak for myself and my own experiences and my own reasonings why I choose to work so hard and strive to be successful. And at the end of the day, like, it's getting harder and harder for me to leave back home, man. Like, my brother's got 2 kids now, my nephew's 5, my niece is 2 years old. I have to sacrifice half their life every year and move away from home and have to pack up your bags and move away from your family, and it's a huge commitment. Like, I don't care what any of the Aussies say, like, some of them might enjoy getting away from home and whatever, but like, it's a huge commitment to pack your shit and find, like, I mean, at the beginning, find a place to live, find a boat to fund your season. I mean, like, I swear it used to cost like 50 grand for a season or whatever it is. Like, it's not a cheap sport. So if I'm going to make this sacrifice and if I'm going to make this choice to leave home, then I'm going to do everything in my power to make it worthwhile. Yeah, like, for me, like, family is like number one. I have like the most incredible relationship with my family, and it's only getting stronger and stronger. So for me, like, that's just so hard to pass up.
It's raining.
It's raining.
It's raining again. Cory's always getting people all wet.
Yeah. Dude, I wish.
Hey, that's how we do it on the Fresh Squeeze, baby. Do you have a girlfriend right now?
No. I've actually never had like anything like proper serious too.
That's probably why you're so good.
Probably. Less distractions.
It's a real distraction.
Or more distractions, who knows.
It's a real distraction.
So the radar says that there's nothing on top of us.
100% chance it's not raining right now.
So should we just...
What's Mean Girls? There's a 70% chance that it's raining right now.
Do you think that it takes more confidence, more self-confidence to go into an event and win an event, or to walk outside wearing those sunglasses?
Which ones?
Any of those sunglasses that you wear.
Dude, that's a fashion trend, bro. Come on.
Dealers.
The dealers, for sure.
They're not even dealers now. I don't even know what those things are.
Dude, fashion's going full loop, bro. We're going back into the freaking 70s and 80s.
I can tell.
Yeah. I'll get you a pair if you want. I know a guy.
I appreciate it. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to wear your bucket hat today, too.
Dude, I can throw it on if you want.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
If you were going to date one professional female rider.
Oh, my God. But I can answer that when we're done.
I don't want you to answer it. I don't even want to know.
Not one that I've married, just the ones that I've previously married.
Previously married. We're good.
Now we're talking. Well, I'm just excited to see what happens this season now.
I can't wait.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
Man, I can't thank you enough for sitting down with us, talking to us, sharing us, giving us this juice, giving us a squeeze.
Some juice.
This is super fun.
Some juicy juice.
We're going to do it again here in a couple months. I want to get a couple events under our belt and sit back down with you and get a little mid-season update.
Mid-season, yeah. Well, hopefully it goes well.
I'm sure it will.
Be awkward if I'm just at the bottom of the standings and just like, oh,
like, oh man, ever since Cory did that Fresh Squeeze episode, it's really hit the fan.
Yeah.
It's not doing good.
But yeah, I'm down for sure.
Sweet.
Oh yeah.
Good to see you, bub.
Good to see you, mate. Thank you.
So for everyone that wants to follow along with Cory Teunnissen's life, where's the best places to be doing that?
Yeah, probably the channel that I put most effort into would be OnlyFans at Cory Teunnissen.
Yeah.
No, please don't. I don't. No, f that. I don't want that on the record. Yeah, just Instagram and TikTok, I guess, at Cory Teunnissen. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys on there.
Cut.
Nice. Sick.
Risky stitching, bro.
Dude.
Where'd you get that get up?
I could tell you, I would have to kill you.
Yeah. The master's locker room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stole her off one of the caddies. No, but seriously, do you have an OnlyFans?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good interview. Just never turn the camera off. Never turn the podcast off. Always be rolling.